Hello and welcome to the last regular episode review of The Wind and the Willows. We're there. Wow, this is the last, when I say regular, last of the four main series. Of course, I'm also releasing another bonus episode review today. And next week we will round up everything with A Tale of Two Toes, the special. But yeah, this is the last of the regular episodes. Auberon's Return. Lovely one from series 2. And I love it. I consider it a classic. And let's get into it. All right, let's press play. Here we go, pressing play right now. Okay, so Auberon's Return, as the title suggests, is the return of Mole's cousin, Auberon, of course. So we last saw him in Mole's Cousin from series 1, and he does make an appearance later in the series, in series 4, in Happy New Year. But as a few of you said in the comments during the course of these reviews, it's a shame that we didn't see more of him. He's such a lovely character, and he was actually written into many episodes. Brian Truman actually originally considered having him pop up more often, and for some reason they decided against that. And like I say, only makes an appearance in 3 episodes. But he's also mentioned in quite a few. So he is a prominent character, really. He does occur a fair bit. And when we look at the time of year, as the narrator says there, it wasn't far from being spring. So that's why it was perfect for me to put this episode where it is now, the very, very end of autumn. And as we get into A Tale of Two Toes next week, we're just into spring, if you consider March the first day of spring. I love the illustrations in this opening. I mean, they're all beautiful, but this one particularly just got that sense that spring is coming. And Mole already, you can see him dusting away. It's almost like he's spring cleaning already. Come out of hibernation. Now, if you think of when I started these reviews, almost a year ago now, with the Ghost at Mole End, that was episode 3 from series 1, and it was, spring had just started, although they were talking about the back end of winter, and Mole was just coming out of hibernation or being asleep for the winter. But of course, as the series progressed, they kind of moved away a little bit from that idea that these are animals and making them more human, so they're active all year round. There's more of that sense, certainly by this point in series 2. So here he is. Auberon shows up at Mole's house. We've got a typical opening with Mole, baking.
I'm afraid the place is a mess as usual. I was just going to bake a batch of scones.
Like the little details there where Mole knocks over something on his table and puts it up. So it's all that lovely secondary action while he's talking to Auberon. And Auberon, of course, is well dressed as ever. But such a difference, isn't it, for the first time they met? That first time that Auberon shows up at Mole's house. And all that anticipation Mole has about meeting his cousin, and this kind of, he's very kind of, I guess you could call him upper class, or a respected citizen in his field, being a playwright and so on. So Mole didn't know what to expect, but he wanted him to take him as he is, and now of course he's so welcoming. And but we got a bit of sadness here. Auberon's talking about this kind of the fact that he's written this play and it's got terrible reviews and it's coming off. Awful things happen to any playwright, of course. Mole, being the optimistic fellow he is, he's trying to kind of build up Auberon's hopes and say, oh, it can't be that bad. So really sad. Now this is interesting how Auberon says Aunt Frida's efforts haven't been helped, and Mole says your aunt, but of course that aunt would be related to Mole as well, wouldn't she? Don't know if anyone can work out what that aunt would be to Mole. If it's Auberon's aunt and Auberon is Mole's cousin, don't know, it makes my head spin. Second aunt? Does it work like that? Once removed, twice removed? Oh, I don't know. If anyone's got the ideas, do leave them in the comments. That's an unusual lighting setup we've got there. Just very slight glow of a lamp or a candle above them, and then the glow of the fire. And the candles don't always work, they just get like this twinkling effect. It's just a light bulb basically.
A large country house
Now Mole's cousin Auberon has basically fled to Mole's to try and seek comfort and peace and quiet. See if he can be inspired as well. Now this music is really interesting in the background. This is called Words. It's an instrumental piece that is available on that CD, if anyone's got that. But you'll notice, as it says in the liner notes in the booklet of that CD, that this was originally a song with lyrics. And the booklet suggests almost that that's the version that's included on the CD, which I thought before I heard it. I read the notes before I heard the CD, and I thought, oh, is this going to be the vocal version? But it's the original instrumental version as we hear in this. Now I was delighted by that because I already have the vocal version, a very rare recording that Keith Hopwood gave to me. Maybe he'll give me permission to put it up on YouTube at some point. I might ask him. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard it, but there's only a demo. It's only a demo that exists with Keith Hopwood. Can't speak. Keith Hopwood himself singing it, and it's a lovely song. It's basically Auberon would have sung it, of course, and it's a song about the lack of finding any words that he wants to write down for a new play. Basically singing about them not coming easily to him, and where is his inspiration, where's it gone? This, of course, is where it would have occurred. Now, I don't know why Cosgrove Hall decided that it'd be better not to have the song. Of course, this is series 2, so we still had songs in certain episodes in the series, if you think of Winter Sports and Fancy Dress and so on. So, yeah, strange really, but I do like that instrumental piece. It's a lovely melody, and it always sort of stood out to me as a melody, and it makes sense that it was a song.
Oh, I must be a great nuisance to you.
Nonsense. Besides, I'm glad that you felt like writing again.
Oh, if only I had been. But nothing came. No ideas,
Poor
no
Auberon.
lines, nothing.
You mustn't expect too much too soon. Just a little
So is he
piece
really-
of art and
He's a really good cousin, isn't he, Mole? He's been very good to Auberon, trying to cheer him up and saying don't expect too much too soon, just take it as it comes, easily.
Let the poor chappie.
Oh well. Come in.
So what Auberon needs is fresh inspiration,
Ratty.
Hello, Molo.
and he does get it.
My cousin Auberon's visiting at the moment.
Yes, I know.
I always wondered about the way Ratty addresses Mole. It was almost like he's an acquaintance more than a friend in this episode. Just something about the way he delivers his lines at the door.
Oh well. Very nice to see
So
you,
this
Ratty.
Ratty's arrival basically signifies the start of disturbances for Auberon. And Auberon, of course, is being polite. He's happy to sort of meet Ratty. But look at Mole's body language, beautifully animated. So Mole feels bad, and even though Auberon's saying, of course I will, he's just being nice and polite. But Mole knows the truth. Mole knows that Auberon needs peace and quiet.
You need some peace and quiet.
Any friend of yours is
Now have a look at the paint job on Auberon there. It's a bit unusual. He's got like a grey, almost like a grey stripe around his head.
it's about the river.
If anyone has ever noticed that before, it's just a bit of an odd colouring. But I like that he's overall a different colouring to Mole. He's a lighter colour. Now this is an instrumental piece that I don't think pops up anywhere else. I don't remember hearing it anywhere else. Exclusive to this episode. There's a nice little montage and showing the passing of time with the dissolves between shots. We see another day's pass now. So they pretty much had a day of Ratty, it looked like, didn't it? And now we've got Badger showing up. But the fact that Ratty said, you know, there's a nice reference to Otter there, even though we don't see much of Otter, but that Otter had seen his car. And if he'd seen his car, was Thomas the chauffeur around? We don't see him at all in this episode. We assume that Thomas dropped Auberon off at Mole's and stayed nearby, where he maybe stayed before. Now, I didn't know what Badger was on about when I first heard this. I first saw this episode on the Channel 5 screenings, of course. It was released on video, but it's a video I didn't get from my collection until years later. And that video actually has all the episodes, all 3 episodes with Auberon in it. So it's almost like the Auberon Mole collection. The Mole's Cousin and Other Stories, that's the one. Now that's an interesting way how Mole sneaks that in. Have a cup of tea before you go. Like a big hint there, you know. Polite way of saying, could you please op it? But Badger takes it the wrong way. You know, it hurts his feelings a little bit. Now Mole, of course, feels terrible. Feels very bad. But I like this. This is very human, isn't it? It shows that they can be irritated with each other and they do have feelings and their feelings can be hurt. Makes them very three-dimensional, the characters. The way he delivers that good evening to you, very stern.
I'm afraid his feelings have been hurt. You only did it out of kindness, Mo, I know.
So the two moles are totally understanding of each other and totally supporting each other here.
You hope so. You do need decent quiet.
And we can understand how Mole feels, the fact that he's hurt one of his friends. It's not a nice feeling. Even though you know it'll all be fine, you know, once the time heals, obviously. And now even that little trumpet sound there, that brass, suggests trouble, doesn't it, when we see Toad?
I think it's Toad. Dear. 3 days.
Now I'm interested to see what Mole's doing. Auberon's reading a book and Mole's polishing some brass. But it's just a bit random that he's got one piece and he's sat there in the chair. You'd think you'd have a collection with him. Or was he just sat down for a moment, maybe? Now what's lovely about the fact that Mole's got 3 key friends, of course he's got more than that, but the main 3 characters, obviously Ratty, Badger and Toad, and we see them one by one, and if you go by the classic rule of thirds, it's the 3rd time where something significant happens, and what better character for that than with Toad. We've had Ratty, we've had Badger, things got a little bit out of hand with Badger, and now Toad. It's the ultimate sort of disturbance, isn't it? And Toad's really rubbing it in now, the fact that Auberon, poor Mole is so desperate.
Yes, Toad. It has rather.
Toad, do you have a cup of tea?
I say, Mo, there's no need to shout.
Poor
Will
Mole.
you have a cup of tea and a buttered scone?
Oh, good idea, Mo, thank you. Oh, you haven't got any of that upside-down cake you go in for, have you?
Now, upside down cake, I wonder what that is. I don't know if that was a thing. Never been mentioned before.
Quite a jolly good play if I set my mind to it.
Oh, really, Toad?
Oh, yeah.
But Toad, as usual, is thinking totally about himself, not thinking about Auberon's feelings.
Yes, I suppose.
And if you think about Toad, he rarely does, really, does he? He rarely thinks about other characters' feelings, or he might do later on after one of his other friends sort of points it out.
Yes.
And then there's a moment of realisation. So deep down, he's a good-natured character, but
Yes,
when he's so centred on himself, he just forgets. He just doesn't think.
Drama this afternoon. Then you can have a look at it tomorrow.
Although Toad hasn't totally dismissed Auberon as being useless at writing plays, he's asking Auberon for his opinion on his work, but of course it's all for his own benefit, centred around him.
Mo, good job you've done that tea.
And the fact that Auberon's laughing is it signifies that he's being inspired, even though we don't quite know it yet.
Look, Toad, do you have a homemade cherry scone?
Thank you, Mo.
And there's a lovely coziness to this episode. I love episodes that are cosy. Of course, it takes place mostly indoors. In fact, the only times we see outdoors are when we see the characters at the door coming in, just at the gate. Now, this is nice to see Ratty and especially Badger on good terms again with Mole. So they totally understand. So we realise that we've had the passing of time. Auberon's been and gone. Time has moved on. The only discontinuity here, though, which I think I've never really thought about it before. Actually, I've seen it now. Is the fact that the characters are wearing, I think, the same clothes. And as if time has passed, you'd think they'd be wearing something different. But that happens often in these episodes. Even if you have a bit of a passing of time, the characters are often in the same clothes throughout the series. So it's almost like the way the productions worked is they had these costumes ready for that episode, and that's the ones they're wearing, and there we go. But it'd be nice if they went a bit further and actually had them change their clothes, because a lot of time has passed. The fact that Auberon has written this new play, it's already on. It's on. It's playing. Because Toad comes in shortly with a review of the play. Sine qua non, the essential ingredient, as Auberon refers to Toad. And you learn a lot about Latin and so on.
There's no doubt his stay with us has done him a world of good, Mo. Maybe it was your upside down cake, eh?
I like that comment. The upside down cake. Nice reference to Toad bringing it up before, and then the fact that it's upside down, turning himself around. Now this scene now, where when Toad joins them, is one of my favourite in the whole series, and very fitting that it's the last one I'm reviewing now. This to me confirms the friendship of the four of them. I love that comment from Badger there.
What is it, Toad?
Well, it's my old friend, Auberon.
And I love the way Toad refers to Auberon as his old friend. He's really pleased with him, which is lovely to see.
New play. No, it's an absolute triumph.
Mole says, "Oh dear," because he believes Toad. Toad's gonna go on about how bad it was again, like he did before. But no, it's a triumph, which is wonderful news. Now that music comes in there, which is an instrumental version of the main Wind in the Willows theme, which I think is a lovely choice. It's just lovely, the fact we've got the four friends together, they're celebrating something happy, celebrating Auberon. They've all met him when he stayed with Mole, and now he's gone, and he's got this wonderful success. And it's all thanks to his stay, and mainly to Toad. And that's why I love this scene, and it's just like lovely to see them all together celebrating this. And really celebrating, for me, it feels like celebrating the end of these reviews. Quite nice, touching. So Toad's basically describing himself. So this character that Auberon has come up with is a character that goes from craze to craze, just like Toad does. Now a photographer, now a flyer. We've seen Toad previously as both those things. Photographer, of course, earlier in Series 2, and a flyer in the film, didn't we, at the end of the film. Ratty, everyone except Toad knows exactly what's going on. So Toad's not in on the joke, so they're all laughing, but Toad's laughing for a different reason to the others. Eccentricity and pure farce. Wonderful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It certainly is. I mean, a conceited country squire.
Conceited country squire. What a great way to describe Toad. And the way the ending here. Oh, Jeremy, and then oh, Toad. Now Toad, I think. Now, what do you think about that? Does Toad totally get where they're coming from at that point when he says, "Oh yes"? Does he realise, oh, it's all based on him, or is he just saying, "Oh yes," just to go along with it? He doesn't really understand. I don't know. I like to think that Toad realises in that little moment of just like oh yes, that's just like me, isn't it? He probably doesn't quite realise that the inspiration all came out of, you know, of Toad himself, but no, I just love that. A little bit disappointed that it wasn't referred to in a later episode. It would have been nice to, again, see Auberon return, and to see him in better spirits, to actually see him. But in a way, it's nice that we don't, I guess. It's nice that we know that he's had a success, he's happy, he's stayed in the world of good, and all the characters made a difference, especially Mole and especially Toad. And it's lovely. And Ratty and Badger are very understanding, so it all gets resolved in the end. We know it's resolved with Badger. We don't need to see it in words or anything played out. We just know it. So it's just lovely. It's good drama. It's just good storytelling and great body language and all the characters and all of that. So lovely episode, and be really interested to hear your comments on them. My gosh, we are there in terms of the regular episodes. Well, I will not be reviewing another episode from the regular series because we're done. We just got, like I say, the bonus episode left, which is Toad Filmmaker, the very last of the series, which is available today as well, so look out for that. And A Tale of Two Toads, that wonderful special that I'll be reviewing next week. And then I'm going to have a bit of a break, to be honest. But I do have other plans, and I'll reveal more about that in the final video review for A Tale of Two Toads. And I must say, thank you so much for all the comments. I'm so sorry that I haven't replied to all of them. I've just been really busy, lots of stuff going on, but I do plan to. I plan to communicate with all of you a lot more. I'm really grateful for all the comments, all the subscriptions, and get more of a conversation going, which will link to more plans that I have surrounding the Wind of the Willows, which hopefully is quite exciting for everyone. So yes, all the best, and sip of water before I go. And do join me, like I say, for the bonus episode today, and please be sure to join me next week for that wonderful special A Tale of Two Toads, probably my favourite of all. Cheerio then, and all the best.